everyone, I hope you have an amazing day. Tawnie here with Tawnie Talks, licensed psychotherapist, coming at you with a quick video today. Let's go ahead and jump into our fishbowl of questions and see who we can help today. Today's question asks, Dear Tawnie, I went to a school event recently and I couldn't help but feel angry when I heard other small children and their parents interrupting the event with loud noises and eating candy wrappers. What can I do so that I don't get myself into a negative confrontation at a school event and try to focus more on my child's performance versus what's going on around me? What a great question. And I'm sure a question that most of us at one point or another have asked ourselves or have found ourselves in a similar situation. And it doesn't even have to be a school event. It could be any other type of event, maybe a concert, or if you're going to a seminar or trying to watch a performance. What do we do when there's a little side chatter happening around us and is distracting us from focusing on the wonderful performance that's taking place right in front of our eyes? Let's go ahead and find out what we can do to not mind the distraction and focus on the beauty on today's Tawnie Talks. Hey everyone, just wanted to interrupt the video to let you know that you could be part of the first 1,000 to help me grow this channel. If you're part of the first 1,000 subscribers, not only are you helping me grow this channel and helping me help more and reach more people, but once I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade this camera so you get to watch me in HD. Go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, and share button and help me grow this channel together. Now, back to the video. Okay, y'all, to help answer this question today, I'm going to tell you a little personal story. And I don't really like to tell personal stories unless it's relevant to the video or the topic at hand. So today, this is definitely relevant. So I went to one of my kiddos' performances recently, and they didn't have programs at their performance. They usually will pass out like paper programs. You can see the students' names and the order of performance. But this time they had a SKU code. And so people were walking up and having to take a picture of the SKU code and then look it up. I don't know if it's called a SKU code. Is it called a scan? You know what the thing I'm talking about, right? Like a barcode thing. So they scanned it and you would pull it up on the internet and then look at that order of performance. Well, I had gotten there early because I wanted to get front row seat, or at least as close to the front row as I could so that I could film my child performing. I'm very, very proud of her accomplishments. So I got there about an hour early. I had my coffee in my hand. I was pleasantly waiting. I wasn't even on my phone. I was just enjoying the moment around me, chit-chatting with the people in front of me, the other people that had gotten there early. So I was at the very front of the line, and there were lines forming behind me. And so when you're in the front of the line, you can kind of notice the people around you that's in the front of the line too. And so you're chit-chatting with one another, and about 5 minutes or so before they opened the doors, the line was down the hallway. It was lots of wonderful parents and loved ones and friends and family wanting to see these amazing kiddos perform. And out of the side of my eye, I noticed a lady walk up, not anywhere near towards the front of the line, or was she waiting in the front of the line? So I'm assuming she just kind of came in through some side door. And she went ahead and pulled out her phone and she took a picture of the SKU. And normally people from the back of the line or the middle of the line, or if you're just coming in, you'll realize there's no program. So you'll go up and take a picture of the SKU and then you'll go back to the end of the line or wherever you came from. But not this lady. This lady took a picture of the SKU code and casually, but very discreetly, took a couple steps back and did a little side shuffle step to where she was standing right next to me in the front of the line. And mind you, she was nowhere near the front of the line. I know that she was not part of anybody waiting in the front of the line for like the first 30, 45 minutes. And in my head, I was like, lady, you're not fooling anybody. I know exactly what you're doing. And so I was giving her a little side eye. Is she going to go back to where she came from or where the back of the line? Because I know she wasn't here before for the last 30, 45 minutes. But no, she didn't. She stood right there. And actually the lady that was in front of me, in front of her, took a step back because there was nobody supposed to be behind her because there was no one in that line up until a moment ago, until this lady did a little side shuffle and stood there and she bumped right into her. So anyway, in that moment, I thought to myself, can I be petty right now and kind of just let her know, excuse me, ma'am, the line's back there. I saw what you just did. Or could I just take a deep breath and really focus on being in the moment, looking forward to watching my child perform and really not keeping any mind to somebody trying to cut the line. Now, I'm not saying that if I were to confront her and say something that would be petty, because I do believe that people who cut the line should not be allowed to do that. And if they get away with it, they continue to do that. And it's very disrespectful to everyone who's gotten there early to wait in line for you to just, walk up and cut somebody off in line, right? So I don't think that's petty at all. I think it takes a lot of guts, and I think it's a wonderful thing if you can do it in a kind, respectful way. But in that moment in my head, I was debating, should I say something, should I not? It was just one lady. It wasn't like a whole group of people that did that. And then I thought to myself, you know what? That's not going to be my problem today. I'm enjoying my coffee. I'm enjoying the moment. I was enjoying chit-chatting with the other people that had gotten there early and was standing next to me. And I realized that that's like a character issue. And that character issue is between that lady and herself, not me. So I just let it go. But yeah, let me tell you what I did do though, because as the doors opened, she sure did try to walk in front of me and I wasn't going to let her. So I went ahead and did a little sidestep myself, and I stood in front of her, held the door open for another lady that was next to me, let her in, and then I walked in ahead. So I did do that, but I did not confront that lady and call her out. I just let it pass because to me, it was a little bit of annoyance, but you know what? In the long, big scheme of things, it wasn't that important to me to say something. So sometimes when you're in a situation where you're like, should I confront somebody? Should I say something that doesn't feel right? I know it's not right. I really kind of want you to take a step back and think about it. Is it worth it? Is it worth your time? Now, there is definitely a difference between one person that did that versus like 10 people that did that, right? So at 10 people or a big group of people, I would have said, it's kind of inconvenience everybody behind you that waited in line an hour ahead to get front row seats. Do you mind going back to the end of the line? I would have said something then, but you kind of just weigh the pros and cons, and I didn't want anything to distract me from really enjoying this performance my child and many other wonderful children had worked so hard for. So got into the concert venue, found some really nice seats, just a couple rows down, was really nice and comfy, and I put my purse next to me because I was hoping to save a seat for a friend, and there were two people that came in towards the end, and they sat right on my purse. Didn't even ask me to move over. And you know what? I said, okay, that's all right. You know what? I just went ahead and put my purse on the floor. And then another 3 people squeezed in right next to me, and I no longer had a seat to save for my friend. And I guess it worked out fine because she was able to find a seat, but I didn't even get a chance to say, excuse me, ma'am, I'm holding this seat. They just sat right on my purse. So anyway, I just said, okay, well, this is really a great opportunity to learn patience and to learn grace and just to be kind today. I mean, could I have said something? Sure, I could have. But you know what? Again, I was in the mode of big picture thinking. They were able to get good seats. And mind you, I want to give them kudos too for just shuffling themselves in there because they wanted great seats for their kids and they probably didn't have to wait as long as I did. So in a way, you're kind of like, good job. You saw an opportunity, you took it, way to go. And even with the lady with the little side shuffle step, I mean, she saw an opportunity to cut the line and not have to wait. She did a little skew code thing and stepped to the side and stood right where the skew code was. So, I mean, you kind of have to give these people props because, I mean, it takes guts to do what they did. And, they were looking for the opportunity. They saw it, they grabbed it. So good on them, right? So, I mean, I kind of looked at it that way. So I'm watching this beautiful performance, and then the couple next to me are chit-chattering and they're leafing through things while children are performing. And then there are small children behind me and in front of me, and they're whining and they're crying. And the performance person did say, if you have small children and they can't be still or they're having a hard time concentrating, you're welcome to take them outside for a little break or whatever. And that was a very polite way of saying it. I thought that was very classy. However, I do want to say that if you have wonderful small children and they're having a hard time sitting through an hour-long plus performance, maybe pick seats closer to exits where you can quickly bring them outside for a little bit of break or pass them off to a loved one if you can. But feeding them lots of wrappers and candy in an attempt to keep them quiet. I mean, you're going to hear the crinkling of the wrappers and you're going to hear them munching and wanting more. One little girl climbed on top of one of the seats and almost fell backwards. And there was someone behind her having to put their hand out so that little girl didn't fall backwards because the mother was not able to watch her as well as she could have because she was watching the performance. And so just some concert etiquette tips, with the side conversations and the small children and, me being like shoved in like a sardine can. I mean, I was really challenged and I really did my best in that moment to take a deep breath and really focus on the performance in front of me. And, if I had to move over or look over someone's head, I didn't mind, but I really had to take a step back in my mind and look at the big picture. The big picture was I was here to see my wonderful kid perform along with all these other wonderful kids and their teachers, and I wanted to enjoy that performance. And so you kind of learn to shut off all those little distractions. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's not like I didn't do a little, side look and a little glare to kind of politely let them know, hey, you're being kind of loud and everybody can hear you on this side, so let's kind of quiet down a little bit. But usually that's like enough. So it's not really important to get ruffled up and get angry at every single disturbance around you. If you can refocus and just focus on what's ahead, it's going to be a much better thing for you to do and more mentally healthy for you to do than to get angry and annoyed at every little annoyance, because, we can't control kids. They're their own individual people. They're going to express their needs in whatever needs they want and in every way that they want. And so we can do our best to maintain the peace around us, but some things are just out of their control. So you want to give parents with young children grace about that. Adults, they're on their own, because as an adult, to be quiet when there's a performance going on. So, you really can't do anything about that, but give them grace too and just realize that maybe they just don't really have great manners in that moment, or maybe there's something else going on in their mind that they're having a hard time concentrating. So anyway, the point of the video is try not to get annoyed and angry at every little disturbance around you, but really focus on the big picture. Notice that this is just going to be for this performance. It's not going to last forever. These people who are annoying you are not going to be around you forever. And don't let those distractions steal your joy. Reframe, refocus, concentrate on the beauty that's happening right in front of you, and you will have a much better, pleasurable experience than leaving angry in a huff and a puff and maybe even getting into a nasty confrontation with the people sitting around you. So anyway, today is that video on focusing on what's beautiful in front of us versus paying attention to the annoyances and distractions around us. And hopefully, I hope that you found this helpful today. If you have found it helpful, I would appreciate a like, share, subscribe to this channel so we can grow this channel together. Again, if I hit 1,000 subscribers, I will go ahead and upgrade my camera to an HD camera so you can see me in HD. So anyway, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Listen, if no one's told you yet today, I want you to know how special, how wonderful, how unique you are. There's no one like you in the whole wide world, and I want you to know that, reflect on that, and have a wonderful day.